Now that you've found UBN Radio and discovered our quality talk shows, it's time to spread the word to friends, family, and the universe. 24 hours of music and talk. Radio without limits. That's why people keep coming back for more. That's ubnradio.com.
Jump off that exhausting hamster wheel and into balanced living with Dr. Marissa.
Promise you joy in the mystery.
Dr. Marissa, also known as the Asian Oprah. Her mission, to be a beneficial presence on the planet. Her purpose, to be your personal advocate to live, laugh, love, learn. Her life motto, don't die wondering. Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pay.
And welcome. You are tuned into Take My Advice, I'm Not Using It. Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa every Tuesday at naturally high noon at the Sunset Gower Studios, Universal Broadcasting Network, and every Thursdays at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on my syndicated CNBC News Radio channel KCAA AM 1050 and FM 106.5, and sometimes they even replay that on Saturday at 1. And this is a show about hope and happiness. So there's no gossip, no scandal, and no K words. That's right, no Kardashian talk at all, because I would like you to tune into your own reality show and how you can be happy 88% of the time. And if you're wondering why 8, it is a lucky number in Chinese. It's a homonym for good fortune. And it's not 100% because we cannot be happy 100% of the time. The 12% is for contrast, so that we actually know what happy is. And this is my 5th year on the air this month, and I am grateful. Not only did I get re-syndicated on CNBC News Radio for another year, I also got bumped up into iHeartRadio, and now we're over 53,000 views on YouTube. And I'm grateful to all of you for tuning in and staying with me as I splatter you with more love, more joy, and more hope. And first of all, I wanted to say a very warm peace shout out to all of the fabulous people that I got to meet this last week in Sedona, my annual balance retreat in the beauty of Mother Nature showing off in Sedona, Arizona. So let's see, we'll start with, let's see. Oh, and the reason why I'm doing peace shout outs at the beginning of the show this last year, I started that, is because instead of complaining about negative customer service experiences, because I run the 21-day fast from complaining with Dr. Marissa, I thought I would balance it out and only mention the positive. So if you run over me or bump into me and it's a positive experience, you will get a peace shout out on the air. So that goes for Donna and Shauna at United Airlines, Shauna at Nordstrom's at the Scottsdale Fashion Square. Yes, I had to stop there on the way to Sedona. Congratulations on being a super duper couple, holding hands after 12 years of marriage, Jeff and Claire. To the Payless car rental company, which also doubles as a comedy team, DeVry, Dennis, Luis, and David P. To Tyler and Mark at the Los Abogados Resort and Spa, Gerardo's Delicious Italian, and last but not least, to my beautiful students and Tanya Harney, who will be calling in next month, a remarkable woman that I accidentally met at the airport Vista, who's not only survived but thrived stage 4 breast cancer. And I wasn't supposed to be there at that time. She wasn't supposed to be there, and I got to hold her in her gratitude, and as well, you know, tears are the disinfectant that keep your heart soft. So I was very, very grateful to share that moment with her, all because I asked her to take my picture. All right, on to miracles, more miracles. If you've been following the election, it appears we need one. So I asked Universal Broadcasting Network's resident miracle expert. She's also a dear friend of mine, a colleague, fellow radio host at UBN, also at CRN, that I was asked to do but never got there. But she's here also, my sister at Agape. And without further ado, let me read her just a little bit about her. She's a medical intuitive, a third-generation palm reader, and yes, you're going to hear her read mine, which should be very interesting. Her education as a healer began with her grandmother in rural Pakistan. She received a degree as a medical doctor from the Medical University of the Americas. Her approach to hand analysis, intuition, and healing is described as merging ancient wisdom, science, and spirituality for optimal living and completion of your soul's journey. Please, without further ado, please welcome Dr. Sarah Larsen. Yay! And probably most importantly, she introduced me to a couple that basically like loved me up. You have no idea. I don't know if you've talked to them, but Elizabeth England and Ken Sheets were darling. Dr. Sarah said, "Oh, you're going to Sedona? You have to meet my brother and his love."
It's a family. We are a family of miracle makers, and around the world, we've got people that love you up. So if you're part of the family and community, and we can make it happen for you. We have friends in Egypt. We have friends in Sicily. We have friends in Rome. We have friends all over the U.S. that basically love you up when you show up. And Ken and Elizabeth are incredible.
Yes.
They know these amazing spots to take you to.
West Fork was absolutely stunning.
And Sedona. And it's such once that introduction is made and you're part of the Miracle Makers family, we love to introduce one another because, Marissa, you're incredible. And like attracts like. And we've been walking this parallel path
Isn't it something?
for a number of years, hosting events and producing events at Agape as well. And finally,
I know we were at a host meeting and I said, and you had asked earlier, you wanted to spend some time with me.
Yes.
And since I've had this show, I can't believe it's 5 years. And,
5 years.
And you're the baby show coming on here.
I
And I wanted to
am.
give you some exposure to my listeners. And
I'm so grateful my listeners get to connect with you and the tribe.
Thank you.
You are amazing for so many different reasons. And not only read hands, but I read energy. And if it's okay with you, I'll continue to read that on
please.
air as we're moving through. It's like you are getting this very beautiful expression of self. This 5th year is really an expression of self-love. And this retreat really helped you connect even deeper into the difference that you're making in the world.
Thank you.
And this is almost the equivalent of being a 5-year-old in the spiritual realm of the. You've wanted to be playful and joyful and childlike in every in every aspect of your life. And here you are. This year is the unfolding of that.
Yes.
And all of those voices that were inside your head that were not your own have really been tuned down. And it's these brilliant channeled voices that are coming through. And ask this person this or try this out. And also there's stuff happening with your body, which is letting you release a lot of the ways that you had kept yourself safe. It was hard in the past to let anyone really, really physically close to you. And this is something that has started to shift. And this year it's a full transition of that. And you've made sleeping important for yourself and resting, whereas before it was go.
Recovering overachiever. I'm trying. Although I don't know if Ken and Elizabeth agree that I'm recovering at all, or any of my clients. But Yeah. Yeah. Do you see colors in the auras?
I do see colors. I see your guides and your angels present as well. They show up for you, especially when you're on air, partly because you ask, and partly because you're in such a flow that there's doors that open when you're in this flow.
Okay.
And so Mother Mary comes in very, very strongly.
Interesting.
Kuan Yin. And Lao Tzu is very, very present
Really?
in your field. You've got Archangel Michael. That's the area of protection that comes in.
And let me take a quick station identification. If you're wondering if we're doing a woo-woo show, we're doing a woo-woo show today. You are tuned in to Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa. And my very special guest is a friend that we haven't spent a whole lot of time together, but we have always felt the connection, Dr. Sarah Larsen. And she's a medical intuitive as well as you can tell from her reading right now. Yes. And Ken and I were laughing because we're both like reluctant woo-woos.
Yes.
Because I believe you.
Yes.
That there's other stuff because, when I do my call-in shows, Jarvis is laughing. When I do my call-in shows and I ask, and I usually say at the beginning of the show, before we come on, and I do this little connection, I guess you would call it a prayer, but I say, speak through me, don't let me get in the way, and let the words be thine and the voice be mine. And when I have a caller, I'm able to, say things that I had no plan of saying, and they end up either being the exact thing that I needed to say, or I guess a name of someone without knowing. And so when that happens, I'm a believer of a woohoo.
Yes.
But then on the other hand, there's that scientific PhD side of me that's like, it really cannot be. It really cannot be. And so I get all belligerent and reluctant around it. But obviously today, because you're saying
a medical doctor,
you're a medical doctor as well as
and
that.
I
so
didn't
how do you
understand.
know this? Do you actually see?
I literally see timelines of, if you take this step, this is what's going to happen. If you do this, and just to qualify this a little bit, I thought everyone saw this until I went to med school, and I really had a low self-recognition. I might call that self-esteem even. And part of med school was to self-love. It was to really give profoundly to the world. I intended to be the Mother Teresa of medicine. I thought that was the way to bring peace to the world.
Right.
And then I realized, wow, that's a very slow path. And I went on to learn, oh my gosh, there's something different about you. You see things differently. The other med students, the other doctors weren't having the results and the ability to see things. And I was never one that wanted to prescribe anything.
Okay.
We would sit down and we'd talk. And in the third world, much of what I did was infectious diseases, OBGYN, and peds. And so we would deliver 300 deliveries in the field.
Right.
Not one was needed a C-section, not one, because there was a communication happening. I didn't realize that was special. I didn't realize there was something weird in that scenario by modern science. And later on, I learned, oh my gosh, this is something special. This is something, and I know this to be so. Everyone can do what I do. I had never turned it off. My grandmother, being my first educator, helped me realize how to use those skills. I believe every child, and we have a whole series of children being born in China, in Asia, that are being trained in this, that are able, and I was at the Parliament of World Religions, October 2015. There's some videos on the internet around this as well, where children are blindfolded, and through interpreters, they're reading the daily paper with their feet. They're able to read.
Actually.
And so your timelines appear to me, depending on how I want to tune in, how deeply I want to tune into your reality, and to see what your belief systems are that limit you, what your physical body's experiencing, what your subtle body is
Go for it.
experiencing.
Go for it. I'm a live out loud on the air. So yeah, what do
Your
you
life
see?
is a miracle.
Okay.
It really, really is. You chose a very hard beginning. You chose such a difficult, and I don't know your past. I don't
Right.
know your history.
Yeah, for those of you who think that, because
yeah.
I have talked about some of it. But,
yeah.
but,
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Awesome.
but you did not do research on
I
this.
didn't.
Okay.
I have a very lovely experience with being so busy. But I have an
Yes.
11-year-old, a 9-year-old, a beautiful husband. We just celebrated our 12 years of marriage
Oh,
ourselves,
that's great.
which is a miracle. This harsh beginning, but this timeline that's here is there was a time that you dipped into self, taking care of yourself through not participating in reality. Another way to say that is you were self-medicating, and you went down a path that was very dark for a little bit.
Yep. True.
Literally, it was someone pulled you out of that.
Michael.
Yes.
My big brother.
Yes, pulled you out and helped, and you've been on a very straight path since then. Even though there's been, and this is you can never take a wrong step on the right path. You're on the right path. This is what you wanted to do from a young age, to make a major difference in other people's lives. And there were what you used to write and see as a kid had to do with journalism and around giving profoundly. And there was an easy path and there was a hard path. And you are now on the easy path. You've started to meet a lot of the people that you were meant to, throughout your life, embody the souls. It's like you did a escalator ride to the next part. Moving and traveling is really important for you, and you have to change things up.
I just moved. I just moved back to the water. So
changing things
and
up.
I'm going to Costa Rica next month. I just got back from Sedona.
Yes.
And Peru in the fall. So no traveling at all.
No.
New York in August. Toronto in September.
This is so important for what happens with you. The next stage of development, business development, is educating women on what you do, as well as helping to teach others how to step into their power. You have a particular group of people based on your story that you can really make a difference. And there are chapters, groups of those that you can tap into already and start shifting with them.
Okay.
You have a book coming. Yes.
Did you know that? Did I tell you that?
No, we haven't. It's
So she's number 4. So Neil Donald Walsh was on my show for my
Yes.
200th, and he said that I have a book that's coming out before the end of the year, and then I had 2 other confirmations of that.
Yeah.
And so here's the weird thing. Part of going to Sedona this year, I usually write a song every time I go to Sedona, and this year I knew I had to work on the book.
Yes.
So I went to work on the book, and Ken and Elizabeth were distracting me. So I said I call him my UPS man, my universal power source. He delivers every morning when I pray and meditate. And I said, should I do self-publishing, or should I go through traditional publishing route? And the voice said, do both. So I went online and I found a short list, and I was compiling the cover letter. The next morning, I get in my LinkedIn message a request for a manuscript.
Yes.
From a publisher.
Yes.
Out of the blue. Don't know who they are. So, yes, go ahead.
Yeah.
So there is a book.
There is
Another
a book.
book, yes.
There is a book.
Yes.
You've got 3 books that you're going to write.
So one's done.
One's done.
No. It's a best-selling business text.
Yes.
So does that count as the one, or is there 3 more coming?
This is 3 that in total, and I'm going to read this all the way through. One is the business, which is already done.
Yes.
The second has to involves your personal story.
Okay.
And this one is coming.
Yes.
This is the one that's being written right now. Yeah. And then there is one for women and children, mothering, and the power of that.
I have a children's book that needs a new publisher called Mommy, What Are Feelings?
Yes.
So that's the one. Okay.
So you've got 3, and that's this year with the intent of getting it all. It's very easy. It just has to be reorganized.
Okay.
The business book has new stuff that you need to add to it from the commentary that you've experienced in the business development of radio. So you take that book, you add in the radio, the television, the red carpet experiences.
Okay.
So it's a upgrade to the original.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll have to see if Josie Bass agrees with that.
Yeah.
And my co-author, Dr. Fred Masrick.
Yes, I feel they will.
Okay.
The part that you contributed to go, so it's the same title with the red carpet, the radio, with this particular
I think it's going to be a
audience.
different book because that book is called Organization Development and Consulting,
Yes.
Foundation Perspectives. I went to the school on scintillating book titles for that particular book, but that was a while ago. So I think there is a new business.
So what you wrote in that book, you pull out and you bring to the radio market and the
okay.
red carpet
Okay.
and to this scenario, and you expand on what you had written there.
Okay.
There's a great contribution on the organization part,
Okay.
how to think, how to strategize.
So when you're doing this and you're seeing this and you're here, you're kind of translating from what you are hearing.
And I can give you 3 layers for each person. There's those that are going to do it, those that are going to think about it, and those that are unaware that it's present. You're going to wind up doing it. You get it done. When you become aware it's possible, you step into it and you do it. And this has been a path since you were a young kid.
So I'm actually asking about the process of
Right.
you reading.
I
so
see 3 timelines with just this one experience.
Interesting.
And I have to decipher if you're going to do it, if you're just on the thinking phase based on all the stuff that the path before it.
And then you mentioned that there were several paths.
There's several paths.
So every person has
Yes.
several paths which they can go.
So many paths
Uh-huh.
and many ways in which to interpret what happened in the past as well. As we expand our reality, and each one of us has our own reality. There's as many realities as there are people. When you have a different understanding of an incident in the past, the way that you utilize it in the future becomes different.
Yes.
You
I
can
absolutely
you
agree
can
with that.
absolutely plant seeds right now that were in the past that allowed you to go further in the future.
Yes.
You've done some of that
yes,
seeding
yes, I
yourself.
think that, and this is the power of that message that you're bringing, that I'm
Yes.
bringing, that is so necessary that we don't have to define ourselves past, present, and future by those horrific circumstances. That's what the book's going to be about.
Yes.
So the book is called "Take My Advice." I'm not using it with an X through the not. This is the
Yes.
name of my show. but the secret that I learned
Yes.
in the last 7 years and has been this incredible uplifting, self-uplifting message that I get to live over and over and over with my clients is I can either sit here and bemoan the fact that I did not have a healthy childhood.
Yes.
And I can do that for the rest of my life. And I can hate the person who hurt me for the
Yeah.
rest of my life. Or I can choose to see that what happened absolutely was instrumental and necessary to help me become the joy that I am. Not for anyone else first,
Yes.
but for myself.
It's so important for miracle makers and for your audience to really, really get this.
Yes. So
When-
that's your
yeah,
show.
The
Right?
Miracle Makers is the show, but in your particular story that you're sharing right there is there is a way to see the past. There's a powerful way that will create miracles, and there's a way that will inhibit the access to the miraculous.
Yes.
When you see that you co-created the past in order to make yourself the powerful woman that you are today, it's a lot of work to be on the radio. It's a lot of work to be seen. It's a lot of work.
Because I'm really shy. Sarcasm is another service I
yes, in this world, when there's this much energy coming in your direction, you can wind up being lost. And early on, when a lot of stars don't know who they are or haven't had that
would explain that.
experience, then they wind up lost.
Yeah.
You've been so solid because you grew a solid foundation from having to overcome obstacle after obstacle after obstacle put in the way by loved ones.
Yeah.
You became stronger than the obstacle. Your ability to see how strong you are based on what you experienced and to receive that with gratitude and love and a gift has put you on this miraculous path. Whereas when your eyes and that lens through which we're looking at reality, if you see each of these past stories as stressors rather than blessings, you limit the miraculous entering your life.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I totally agree with you. Now, and I feel a little guilty here because I thought the only part of the show that was supposed to be about me was you're going to read my palm, but you're telling my story in a way that it's interesting because you don't know me. And I'm sure if you're listening right now, you're thinking, well, she knows her. That's why she's telling all of this. But she really doesn't know me. I mean, we've had maybe 3 encounters.
We've worked on projects together at Agape.
But not like closely that you would know about all the things that you're telling me about. So that's interesting. So did you always know that you were going to do this? I'm trying to see the way I just try to because I'm sure there's people tuning in. They want to know about Dr. Sarah Larsen and not Dr. Marissa.
Well, I'm so honored, and I love sharing about you because I see what you've been through. And for myself, I was married at 14. I was left
You were?
Yes. My mom was married when she started her period. My grandmother when she started her period. I am a village girl. Wow. When I say village, I mean village. Even though my grandfathers were my mother's father was the mayor, sort of the magistrate of the area, the judge, all of that. I'm self-educated in a lot of ways. When we moved to the States, I was dyslexic. My parents were immigrants. My father went from a really comfortable position to bringing us to the U.S. so that the kids could have a higher level of experience and education. And so at 19, I was left for dead because I was married to a 28-year-old doctor. And this 28-year-old doctor expected a proper wife. He grew up doing all the right things as a Muslim man and created a life for himself where he was the top of the class. And here was this beautiful 14-year-old, 13-year-old girl that had been promised to him. And, you know, as a young 13-year-old blossoming innocent, I had no idea what I was signing up for.
Wow.
And
well, you didn't have a choice. It was arranged.
I also didn't have a choice. It was an arranged marriage.
I thought those were like 2 generations back. I had no idea that I would meet somebody
I
that
made sure that none of my cousins or no one I was related to or no one that came into my path had an arranged marriage. It stopped with me, with the period in our family. And when I wasn't a proper wife, I was, in any nice way or harsh way, he wanted to keep his reputation. So things like he was also the doctor to my grandparents, the doctor to all of the kids. To control me, he'd say, you know, if you don't do this, if you don't behave in this way, I'm going to give this injection to your grandmother. I'm going to do this to the people that I love.
I'm so sorry.
It was really, really...
wow.
And I couldn't really share it with a whole lot of people because especially when I was 14, which is no one knew what an honor relationship was, or an arranged marriage. The world
You were in
has.
Pakistan at the time?
I was in the U.S. in New Orleans. The marriage happened in Pakistan. He was coming back and forth until he got his visas and was able to. After I graduated from high school, I was sent to live in Pakistan, and because I was such an embarrassment to the family, but the family,
Whose family? His
family.
Why?
And because just imagine a girl that grew up in the French Quarter in New Orleans with parents and I grew up in a Catholic education, private schools, given or received a lot of attention. And then I start my period, and I am now expected to be a trained, proper wife that cooks and cleans, subservient. And I was anything but subservient.
Well, I can't see you as subservient. And on that note, I'm going to have to break just for a second for our wonderful sponsors who make this show possible. But we will be right back for more of Dr. Sarah Larsen's story. Wow, I thought my past was something. This is a book of your own. But we'll be back in 2 and 2. Peace in and peace out. Does it hurt to move? Do you have I'm getting old back pain, joint discomfort? Then let Lori Soki, a certified Pilates trainer posture specialist, help. Her new book, Be Healthy on Purpose, and 4 DVDs will get you back on your feet and off your back. Go to www.healthyposturenow.com today and let Lori help you get your groove back. That's www.healthyposturenow.com. Want a delicious taste of Thailand with a unique flair without getting on a plane? Then visit award-winning 50/50 Asian cuisine in charming Claremont Village. From lemongrass lime soup to Mandalay curry, Joyce's gourmet fusion taste will keep you coming back. And mention Dr. Marissa and you'll get a free appetizer. My favorite is the spicy salmon sashimi salad and chicken wings. 50/50 Asian Cuisine, 201 North Indian Hills Boulevard in Claremont, California. I'll see you there. Welcome back. You are tuned in to my weekly talk radio show called Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa Pay. That's P for Positive EI every Tuesday at naturally high noon out of the Universal Broadcasting Network, Sunset Gower Studios, Hollywood, California, and every Thursdays and Saturdays on my CNBC News Radio syndicated KCAA AM 1050 FM 106.5, home to Dave Ramsey, Stephanie Miller, and Wolfman Jack. So tune in, and if you've missed any of my incredible, I'm so grateful the caliber of guests that I've had. Dr. Michael Bernard Beckwith, Dr. Pat Allen, Dr. John Gray, Don Miguel Ruiz, Neil Donald Walsh, Marianne Williamson, Fran Drescher, Marianne from Gilligan's Island, not name dropping at all. So please do go to my YouTube where all of those are housed as well. We are streaming live if you are wanting to watch us, because I do have cameras in my studio. We're on Facebook, on UBN, and Facebook on my page, Marissa Pay. So, and also on Sarah Larsen's page. And that's my guest today, medical intuitive talk radio host as well, and just an amazing thriver from her own past story. I had no idea what I was getting into by turning the spotlight on you, but wow. Arranged marriage, not the healthiest
situation.
Marriages. Yes.
Yeah, and by 19, I had my first near-death experience, 2 weeks of that.
Wow.
And even though I saw before through the training of my grandmother, and I saw all the way through, at 19 when I experienced heaven, and experienced angels, and I got very, very much, I wanted to serve.
Okay.
And that's what led me. And getting into med school was a miracle. The healings, building schools, meeting my husband, all of that miraculous.
He's cute, by the way. I just saw the picture. Yow.
He is. He is so cute. Oh, my gosh.
That's so great. Another time you'll come on and tell me that story.
Yes. It's so lovely.
Do you see that in my future?
I do. I see
Since
that.
You're reading auras, we're back to me. Do you see that little smooth entree? All right.
This is people love knowing about themselves. I love helping strategize and make the best decisions for your particular path. You really want this to be your last life. You really, really want this to be it. And that's part of the reason you came in so powerfully and so fast. And everything you do is so fast.
Are you calling me fast?
Yes.
Maybe fast. I ain't easy.
The guy that, and there is a guy, it's he's younger, that's in your sphere. And
How much younger?
not that much.
Okay.
But, I'm not saying it's not 20 years, but
Okay.
I'm physically looking.
19. 19 and a half. No, I'm sorry.
It's really beautiful, yummy experience. There's so many skills in relationships that you have since the last one that you were in, that from love, from balance, from really truly giving to a relationship. And it's amazing because you have a physical type, but it more,
just cute.
More stems from the heart.
Pat Allen is so mad at me. She comes on every year because
Yes.
she says I choose with my eyes and not my ears.
Yes.
So I fight that because
It's with your heart that the choice is now coming.
Okay.
Meaning, just like this intention with the book, you have gotten to such a level in your life, just the intention there. He will just happen to be beautiful with a gorgeous heart.
Okay.
And trips are great for you because you meet a lot of lovely, juicy energy. And you're very stimulated in those settings.
Okay.
Costa Rica comes in strong. You're going with the group. But
Actually, I'm not. People are meeting me there.
Right. That's what I mean.
mean-
There's going to be a
okay.
group there.
Okay.
You're not by yourself.
Oh, right. I'm
You're-
teaching at Rhythmia. We'll give them a little plug right now.
Yes, awesome.
Yes.
That's part of the first possible meeting with this. It is a divine appointment. You've had a couple of those. The father of your children. Yes.
Divine appointment was not exactly the term that
Yes.
I've used in the past for him. That is the nicest thing he's ever been called. My husband was my divine appointment. Okay, that's
Yes.
good. We'll go with that.
Yes.
That's good for the forgiveness work, right?
Yes, and especially for your daughter.
Well,
because
yes, I could not have had my beautiful two girls without him. So for
there's
that, I'm grateful.
stuff with finances for them when the husband is completely forgiven and seen in the balance for them. But they have that work to do with finances for themselves.
Okay.
It comes in so strongly. And,
Interesting. Do I get to stop paying him? Sorry, couldn't resist.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, that's
Yes.
good. That was the answer I was looking for.
Yes. Is very clear.
Okay.
And relationship-wise, there's so much. There's language stuff. As I was saying that, your guides are saying, make sure that you tell her about, because for you, you grow, oh, wow, you've had, so let me see both hands for a second.
Okay. She's going to read my palm because that was the original
And
deal. But
yes, I'm going to fold these just for a second like this. And then I'm going to put my hands around. We're so grateful for this time together. We're so grateful for Marissa and Sarah. We're so grateful that Sarah can teach Marissa or share with Marissa what her lines mean and allow her to read her own palm as we move forward. We're so, so grateful for all the listeners and all that is coming through. We ask that Marissa hear all she's intended to hear today. Take a deep breath.
that's my line.
Oh, that's so beautiful. And another just deep breath to really. We are very similar in a lot of ways. You hold your resources very close and you also give them out so freely. It's an amazing, you're so, so generous. This is your lifeline right here, which is wrapping right around your thumb. And what year were you born? Oh, you don't have to say it. Okay, I can already see.
I never tell my
Okay.
age. I have said that I'm ageless
You are
for the
ageless.
last 10 years. And you
Yes.
almost got me on the air for the over 180,000 people who will be in over 100 countries. Did I catch it in time? Okay, good.
Yes, you did. It's so beautiful.
You're about to be my least favorite person if I had said that. From my most favorite.
Right here
Jarvis
is
is having
where
a fit.
we are. And you're right-handed.
I am right-handed.
You are
yes.
right-handed. So I can tell you about your history, but we already talked about it.
Okay, so it's already there.
There's one other time that you had to really pull yourself out of the relationship that you were in. You really
That's the divorce.
Pulled yourself out, and you made yourself come back to life.
Yeah.
And so we are right here on this path.
Where's the beginning?
So the beginning
Is
is
there?
right here
Okay.
on both hands.
Can we get the camera on my hand? Is it possible? Cool. Jarvis is
This is so lovely to do
Because,
this. So,
let's see.
other people's opinion
There we
used
go.
to be the biggest factor in your life. You cleared that away very, very strongly, and you have been a people pleaser early on. Then you grew into your wisdom. Decisions were really hard. Now you make decisions completely from your heart, and you are working on forgiveness work. Self-forgiveness, you did beautifully. There's more to go in that area, especially with the choosing of your mom. This is what your hand says, is there was energy there of choosing of the background, accepting of your full background. There's also fashion in here that's a big deal, and art that's a big deal. That's in this area. You're going to bring all of this beautifully together. You've got leadership out to wazoo. This
It's a technical term, wazoo.
this is bending over backwards for your friends. You've got amazing social graces. You have to set your own rhythm. Strategy isn't one of the things that you spend a lot of time on. It's really a great thing because you technically wind up doing it. It's like you pull a hat trick. You pull a rabbit out of the hat. Like magic, you're a miracle maker. Here are chains around your thumb. And this is
Literally.
This is difficulty that you've had, and then look at this, it smooths out so that your energy, what you want to create, gets really, really smooth as you let the admirers in. The more people you let in to love you, connect with you, admire you, the easier your life gets. There was a mistrust that showed up, and the mistrust has now moved into full trust. You're able to, and you're even starting to hear the voices. It's been about 3 years that the voices are coming
4
in.
years, actually.
Yeah, but that if we knew the exact year.
Yeah, she got me. She got me. Tough. Work harder. Read harder.
We can go.
Use your talent. You don't need me. Intuit, just don't say it out loud.
I won't say it out. It's so beautiful because we could go back to the exact date of your birth, your experience with the people that came in. And
Interesting.
this right here is about you letting yourself go to the next level. I do see television for you very strongly. I do see right here, and this is part of the path of books. The path of writing leads you to clarity on what your show would be about on air and how it would be structured. Here, right here, involves businesses. You've got to open more businesses of your own. This is partnerships with your daughter that they handle. You've got a great ideas that come up.
Yes.
And you need those to execute it in your background. The execution, you've got the ideas.
Right.
You've got to be able to hand them off to people you
Yes,
trust.
yes.
That's part of the experience. You are a people person, but you need time on your own. If you don't get your me time, it shows up in how you interact with others. So your trips and connecting with others and people you don't know is really important for you. You are going to travel the whole world. You do have a global brand already. It's just being formulated bigger and bigger and bigger. There are things that I can answer, but business is really good for you. When you are in business and helping those that are in business is great. There is stuff around.
I consult for organizations.
Yes,
as
it's
a
so
corporate psychologist. Okay.
It's so beautiful. There is a little bit of sluggishness in your environment around going to the next level. You have to let go of some of the old things that you were doing to go to the next level. So this is the area of trimming and getting that answer written down before people call you. Because you love so deeply, you want to give so deeply, you need to have sort of the structure of letting go of things now because it's coming in right now. Depression ran in your family. You have really done a great job of releasing this. There is a little bit with your daughters that you struggle with the depression aspect. Music is so important for all of you guys that can lift you guys up and out of it very, very quickly. You're a healer. So I know you called me woo-woo, but you've got mad...
He calls a woo-woo pot to call a woo-woo kettle black.
You've got healing skills. People heal. And your hands have been activated.
Yeah.
There's light coming out of your hands, and it's quite healing. And so you're doing literally a healing on me of the Asian female. But you were taught to be subservient.
Yes.
And you really grew a 180 to the subservient being, and that's helping me. That's the energy that's coming out of here for me.
I can feel it now. My hands are throbbing. Can you feel it?
I can feel it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
What is it that you would want me to answer? Because there's a bunch of questions here, especially around spirituality. Even though you're clear, you want to understand how you fit spiritually.
I think it's that, like, who do you think you are and how big do you think you are? And it's okay to be strong and powerful, but then it's not okay to be strong and powerful. So it's that place where most of the time I'm very clear.
Yeah.
But there are those types, like when you said Kuan Yin and when you said Lao Tzu.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes I feel like that's where I'm getting it, but then it's like, how could you? It's kind of the same reaction than when someone called me the Asian Oprah, and it took me a year to feel comfortable or strong or esteemable enough to take that on as a moniker. Yeah. And thank God I actually met her, and Reverend Michael actually introduced me to her as the Asian Oprah, and she smiled. So now she knows, so I don't have to worry about that piece of it.
Yes.
But it's that same, like, I believe it, but I don't believe it. I believe it, but I don't believe it.
That's part of the lens, the physical lens of family, because that was a question they had all the time.
Don't be so big. Don't be so full of yourself. The nail that stands up is hammered down.
Yes.
Yes. And we are running out of time.
And that's how you feel annihilated. Meaning when you have that thought, it's a feeling of annihilation that comes in, like you're going to be annihilated somehow.
Okay.
And to embody it really fully means for you to say, God, if you're saying this and it's coming through all of these channels, I accept it and I trust. Okay. Yeah. And specific things we can talk about off air too.
Yes. How do we find Dr. Sarah Larsen to have your own palm read and your own energy read? DrSarahLarsen.com. Is that correct?
It's DrSarahLarsen.com.
Sarah with an H, the only way to do it.
Call me as well.
Okay.
And we have 424-757-4197. 424-757-4197. That usually gets answered a lot quicker.
Okay.
Just if you're looking to connect. I love to serve.
Yeah.
That's what I'm here to do. And
That's
so
beautiful.
I get to do that with royalty around the world.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've read the current Princess's Palms, royalty in Sicily. I get to read, just incredible hands.
And,
I
and
get
can
to,
I get you to offer one free reading for
yes,
Asian Oprah giveaway?
For Asian Oprah.
Yes, so go to my Facebook and message me and say palm read free, and
Yes.
you'll get that. So, and also while you're at it, you can give me the finger at Dr. Marissa, give me a like, and that would be awesome. So I am at the end of the show, but I wanted to thank you so much for being, you get Dr. Marissa's Beneficial Presence on the Planet Award for all the work that you do. And for all the things that you've gone through. Thank you. Yes. When's the guy coming? No, I'm kidding. So we'll talk about that after. And we're at the end of the show. I'm really going to do a very quick balance bar. And that is, we're on day 21 of the Fast from Complaining. Today's tip for day 17 is everybody has a right to my opinion or not. So it's much easier not to complain when people are giving you their opinion and you are giving yours to them. So try not to complain. If you haven't already gotten my $1 app, who says you can't get anything for $1? Please go to my Google Play Store as well as my the Apple Store. And it is now approved by Dr. Will Bowen, who is going to be on my show later on this year, who runs the Complaint Free World. So we're all joining together on that. Tomorrow, take the day off and join me in the Inland Empire at the annual Health to Wealth Conference in Chino, where they've invited me back to speak and teach, and I'll be moderating a panel and doing some balanced Tai Chi Gong as well. If you miss Sedona, don't complain. Come to Costa Rica to the Rhythmia Resort June 18th to 23rd. Make sure you ask for the Dr. Marissa special. Instead of $9.99 all-inclusive per night, it's only $2.99. That's all the organic food and all the yoga and all the spa and everything that you'd like. Next week, continuing to highlight my sister UBN hosts. It's one of our resident psychics. Yes, we're doing a woo-woo this month, and that is Natalie Tomlinson. She'll be my future. She'll be telling my future on the air, continuing to tell my future. So tune in to Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa Pay. That's P for positive, EI. Remember, it's all about balance. So peace in and peace out.
Learned to cry at an early age. People around me, my heart in a cage. Life was a book, don't turn a page. I couldn't see past my rage. I wanted to dance, but I pushed you away. Now I'm on my knees, I'll listen to what you say.